Tweet at Today SOR.
Tenor Patrick Hyland is with me now, ahead of an appearance in the National Concert Hall in April for the Puccini scandal. We'll chat about that a little later. But first, he is with a great favourite, one made famous, I suppose, by John McCormack and Frank Patterson. Here he is, accompanied by David Munroe, and this is Macushla.
Macushla, your sweet voice is calling, calling me softly again and again. Macushla, Macushla, I hear it still pleading, my blue-eyed Macushla, I hear it in vain. Macushla, Macushla, your white arms are reaching, I feel their enfolding, caressing me still. Fling them out from the darkness, my lost love, Macushla. Let them find me and bind me again if they will. Macushla, Macushla, your red lips are saying that death is a dream and love is for aye. Then awaken, Macushla, awake from your dreaming, my blue-eyed Macushla, awaken to stay.
What a stunning performance. Thank you so much. And at 25 to 11 on a Tuesday morning and the first week of March. Patrick, thank you so much indeed. I said you're a tenor, that's pretty obvious. But you're also, there's a bit of a sheep farmer in you as well.
There is indeed, and it's a busy time at the moment for me. I'm lambing at the moment. So up early this morning having a quick check before I came up here. So
And where does all that happen?
I'm down in Kildare, I'm near Punchestown actually.
Okay, good for you. And so those pieces that you've chosen this morning, we'll come to Puccini in a minute, but tell me first of all about John McCormack and his influence on you.
Oh, well, John McCormack is really put Irish tenor and classical singing on the map globally. Of course, McCormack started his career in Italy and toured extensively in America. But I think McCormack has had his hand and his influence for all opera singers, including myself and definitely tenors anyway in Ireland.
Right. And where did you train? I know you did very well. I think you were the Irish winner in one of the Veronica Dunn competitions.
I
which
was
is quite
indeed,
the achievement.
yes. And Veronica Dunn was my teacher. I went to Leinster School with Ronnie first, and then I went to Royal Irish Academy of Music. So I studied with her for nearly 9 years. Yeah, so
okay, so do you foresee the day when you won't actually have time to look after the lambing?
I hope so. Well, it's not it's not uncommon actually for classical musicians to be farming as well. Bryn Durfell, the famous bass
I think Finbar Wright does a bit of it as well.
Well, there you go. Cork, so there must be something in it, no, it's look, it's completely different from what I do, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the seasons and the circle of life and all that. And no, it's great. And
I suppose the fresh air has to be good for the voice.
Well, the fresh air, yeah, except when you have snow like we had yesterday. So you have to be careful as well. But no, it's great.
Right, now tell me about Puccini. What is the scandal of the title of this show that you're performing?
Well, it's a wonderfully clever production put together by Niall Morris. The scandal Puccini, of course, was the greatest, if not one of the greatest, if not the greatest composer of opera of all time. And this show focuses on his life, and there's various scenes that are sung from Bohème and Tosca that correlate to various periods in his life. The scandal itself, and I wasn't aware of the scandal till Niall contacted me about it, had to do with a maid of his called Doria Manfredi, who died in 1909 under tragic circumstances. And this was a huge scandal across Italy, and it nearly pushed Puccini to the brink of disaster and could have ended his composing career. His wife actually was sentenced to 5 months in prison in connection with the scandal, because at the end of the day, Puccini was, unlike a lot of artists, very well known and a celebrity in his time. So this really rocked Italian society.
Right, I gather it's an intrigue, adultery, jealousy, false accusations and suicide. And as you say, it pushed the family to the brink of disaster. Well, look, we're going to hear from you again in our next hour. And I should say that show is on in the National Concert Hall. It's the 24th of April. More details on nch.ie. Patrick, thank you for now. We're going to have you back. I won't say for the moment what the next performance is going to be, but it's one that I think our listeners will really enjoy. Patrick, thanks indeed for coming in. We'll take a short break.
Today with Sean O Rourke on RTE Radio 1.
Now I want to welcome tenor Patrick Hyland back to studio. Patrick, great reaction to your first song that you performed for us, Macushla. You're going to sing another very famous one for us now in a minute. I
am indeed, yeah. This is probably the most famous opera aria, or one of the most famous opera arias, composed by Puccini, of course. Made famous primarily probably from the Italian 90 World Cup with Pavarotti and the three tenors, and it really brought opera to the masses, as they say. And this piece was written by Puccini when he was just after he was suffering from writer's block after the whole scandal with Doria that we have in the show, and the tragedy that befell poor Doria. Yes. And so he wrote this. One of his last arias that he wrote in Turandot was, of course, his last opera.
And it is called?
Nessun Dorma.
Yeah, it was a great favourite of my late colleague here, Jack O'Brien on Song. I don't know if you're too young to remember Jack and the great programmes, but he used to talk about his days in London. I think he was working for the BBC World Service at the time, and he talked about how there was a famous version of it by a singer called Josse Björling.
Oh, of course.
And he played it and played it and played it, and he was sharing a house with a bunch of guys, and he said, whatever else happened, Nessun Dorma means none shall sleep.
None shall sleep.
And he says
yes,
nobody got any sleep with the way he was playing that. So it's a favourite of yours by the sound of things.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, we're going to give you your chance to just get over to the microphone, the other mic there, and accompanied once more by David Munroe. We're going to hear now from Patrick Hyland. Here he is with Nessun Dorma.
Nessun Dorma, nessun Dorma. Tu puria principessa nella tua fredda stanza guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me, il nome mio nessun saprà, mondo sulle tue mani io dirò, quando la luce ed il mio bacio scioglierà il silenzio che ti fa mia. Mi leggo
Thank you so much. That was magnificent. Magnifico, 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 as a famous sports writer said about an earlier World Cup and the performance. I think it was of Northern Ireland. That was Patrick Hyland Tenor, accompanied on keyboard by David Munroe, ahead of his performance and appearance in the National Concert Hall. That's on the 24th of April, the Puccini Scandal, and more information on nch.ie.